Do you want to
Morning.
start recording? Yeah. And let's start because those of you that are on time, that would be great. Then we get started, and everybody else who joins or doesn't join, yeah, let's take it from there. All right. So, Nina, because you were here first, let's go through the spreadsheets and you can give us some feedback. I like to hear you talk through it because you've given me a summary, which is great. Right. But
Mhm.
in a nutshell, if you can just talk me through it, because you said your highlights and then your challenges. Why was taking a daily action a challenge? I'd
Yeah,
like to hear like that. Yeah, yeah.
okay. Yeah, so I just said that okay, let me just get so that I actually see see the sheet here. Yeah, so my goal has been to get sort of the main elements of my because what I said this promotion is going to be about is to launch my personal brand. Right?
Yes.
And to have some programs or start building something from my personal brand, right? With the membership and so on. And so the goal has been to get some main elements of that identity in place and my 5 Ps for a first avatar. So, and I feel like so I said that in my highlight, I feel like I've landed a logo that I can go with for now, just a personal logo, and that I have a first draft of a 5P, and I've actually had kind of fun with it because I have been using ChatGPT, and I feel like where I get frustrated because I can't express things in a way like I feel like my language is not exactly the way I want it. So having that to play with and to have that as a sort of strategic partner, it has been, I think, it's been very uplifting in a way because it's made me see results much quicker, and it's training to get better at asking what is it that I want, right? So it's I think it's a but as I said, the challenge is yeah, I feel like hopefully I'm starting to shift it, but I feel for so long like I'm thinking and I'm thinking and I'm perfecting and I'm going and I'm I have lots of ideas and I see multiple possible avatars, and then I get myself stuck in this yeah, still just thinking and contemplating and reflecting and not really moving. So yeah, so that letting go of that and just like, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. It like, would I have fun working with this kind of person? Yeah, let's start there. I can always create another one. I can create another one. I can, I can do little quests, and it doesn't have to, because I feel like I've been stuck in that, trying to be like, what is that all of me? How can I express and give it the whole thing?
Mm.
And some fear of, if I let's say I had been launching a well-being thing, right? It feels like, oh, but I'm also very strategic and I'm very business and I'm very this. So then it's been this fear of, if I do something, then I will not be, in a way attractive for something else. So
Okay.
so that's trying to move beyond that.
Okay.
Um,
A
yeah.
suggestion I'm going to say to you is somebody taught me something yesterday. So this is just, I tried to pass on some learnings that I also get from, having interesting conversations. And one of the points that she made was really around going away from that feeling of positive, negative, right, wrong, that kind of thing, and rather moving to a space where you actually, um, you know, it's 100% perfect for a purpose of, that is, it's 100% perfect of what you're doing, but it's more of a yin and a yang, right? So it's she says when we use the words positive, negative, right, wrong, it changes the frequency in our brain cell, and then that actually causes us to have a different kind of thinking towards something. So if you become a little bit more aware in the next few weeks of saying, um, it's 100% perfect, or this is a perfect experience, this is, everything is meant to be fitted
Mm.
into that space, I think it creates a different energy around that, and that will possibly help you to let go of, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do that if I do that, because that's right, and that's, that human, I think that conditioning space of being perfect. Does that make sense? So if
Yeah,
we try
absolutely.
to let that go, maybe
Yeah.
it's a suggestion, you know, and
Yeah.
I think
Thank you.
it was a great perspective, you know, because we sometimes forget the words we use, and we sometimes forget the language that we use when we're actually working within our businesses and what we want to be achieving and stuff like that. And we put so much pressure on ourselves to be this perfect thing that we think we need to be, when actually it's maybe not the perfect thing we need to be. I don't know why I'm freezing all the time. Oh, it's happening.
No.
My Greek internet is being funny. Sorry, but I hope you heard what I said.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that just letting go of perfection altogether. I don't even have to use the word, right? It's about finding other ways. Like, is this in alignment with this project that I'm doing, or is it is this bringing me joy? Is this thing here, is that something that's still in alignment with what I want to serve? Can it be a little part of
Exactly.
that? And so, yeah.
Exactly. So I think looking at your 5 Ps and stuff like that, I think let's cover that. Let's have a look. Because I just want to. So V, I did give you guys the prompts, right? So you shared the prompts for the stuff. And then what I've got today for you is I will share it with Veronica and she will share it with you. But I put a little bit more I'm going to say a couple of tips into your 5 Ps. And so let me share my screen quickly. And you ladies are going to be the first to get it, right? So that's what happens when you come to class. Woo! All right. So this is it, where it just gives you a little bit of, some tweaks, because I know you've worked on it, but this will be something that you can look at in the next week, on these things, because when we're taking a look at this, I've also put a little worksheet underneath it for you, but it's really that pain point, which we were really trying to nail down, what is their biggest frustration, what's keeping them up. So here you can see an example: avoid something vague, right? Use something a lot more AI prompts to list, and I give you a little tip here. Do you see what I'm saying? So I've put this down for you guys, and this might help you tweak some of your 5 Ps. Then also, remember what your promise is. Your promise is, what is that guarantee of transformation? So for me, it's around that specific, how do you know that your client is going to get that transformation? So just as a reminder of that. And so you can see the language is really important, because it must speak to those emotions and desires. So here I help people lose weight, but it's better if you say lose X amount of pounds in 30 days, or lose kilos, or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? The wording comes out differently. So yeah, it's about that excitement and transformation. Always remember that. Product. Honestly, you guys can deliver anything you want, because I know all of you, and I think delivery of a product is really the least of your problems. To tell you the truth, not to be rude or anything, but the delivery side is probably the easiest for all of you. And so I think, make it simple, make it easier, focus on the results, right? Because you know what you're doing. Don't give them everything though, right? I was on a webinar the other day, and it was really great. And the program is around helping CEOs and things like that. And everything they did was amazing, but they've listed so many things that it was almost overwhelming, because there were too many things that I couldn't actually pinpoint. So remember, when you're doing this, it's like, what kind of results can I get? So like, for example, on my Instagram pages, if I join the mentoring program and I get personalized mentoring with these guys, within 6 months, I'm going to get $10,000 a month. Now I know what's going to happen. It's like a guarantee that they're giving me. Yes, it's also dependent on me putting the work in, but it's like, it's the result. If I can get the result that I want, I will pay them for my mentoring. Do you see what I mean? And that's the juicy to it, because most of us entrepreneurs today, it's around, we're looking for results, right? Honestly, and most of our clients are probably also looking for quicker results than they're getting. And how can they transform sooner? So think about, I don't want to say quick rich schemes, or do you understand? Do what you want quickly. Don't do that. But the point is what can you, in the result of your solution? Because everything you do, all of you, going to give amazing service. You're going to give the best solutions. So careful that we don't, too much detail doesn't kill what you're trying to do. Your proof, I mean, if you don't have proof, you guys, I'm pretty certain all three of you have got proof, right? You've got people that have done cool stuff, right, with you, and they actually have loved it. So I want to show you one of the, let me stop and share quickly. It's one of the this one woman that I'm working with, basically, let me share here. What she did is she just put a page together, a landing page, and it was just the wall of love, right? So it's just a page that she had with some background stuff, and then she just did this, and she just got everybody to put, like, it wasn't forced or anything. You could do whatever you want, but they gave feedback, right? And it's the latest feedback. So what she dropped into the community that we work in, and she said, hey, it would be great if you can do a video. If you don't want to do a video, just drop something. But you can see this is just a landing page of testimonials, right? Which is very cool, because when I put it onto my store, right, like this, it's just a little box like this that somebody can go and have a look at the testimonials, right, of that particular product. So think about the impact of testimonials, because nowadays testimonials are big. People want to see, like, if I come and work with you, have you helped someone else, right? And what is that story? Not a testimonial from 50 years ago, right? Because we all have those. Hello, Ruby. Glad to see you. So we're talking about the 5 Ps, and because it's all ladies again on the class, it's always the ladies, right? Always the ladies. I put a little thing together for the 5 Ps just to tweak, to make sure you're thinking about them correctly. And Veronica will, I'll give this to her to share with you. And then price, remember, it's the wording again. You need to frame it as an investment into the future of what you're doing. And most people, like when I speak to people and I'm like, okay, this is what I want. Well, listen, are you prepared to invest in your future? I ask my customers, are you prepared to actually invest in this? Because it's not going to be free, right? I'd love to give you things for free, but there's got to be a fair exchange. So however you do fair exchange, you can trade off, you can do whatever in today's day and age, you can trade Bitcoin for it, whatever you want, right? Really, whatever you want. But the point is that it's got to be framed to that point that, for me, it's like, what will it cost you if you don't do that? And I know sometimes we don't want to say it, but the guy that I was speaking to yesterday, he's like, well, if you don't do it, what will things look like? So he asked me the question because I was looking at something, right? And it's a very good question to ask, right? Because you kind of like, well, if you don't come to this class and do this or whatever it is, what's going to happen in your world that you can see? Because most people don't do their future visions. Most people don't do their ikigai. They don't do those kind of things, right? So what is the impact if you don't get this solved? Because it's fine. You don't need to join my program. I've got tons of people joining. But if you don't join, how's it going to impact you? And that's my question, and then, like, if you actually join the program, so like for me, it was, again, if I spend $10,000, right, I can do this all myself. Yes, I know how to do it. But then maybe I've got a mentor that I can have 24-hour access and answer stupid questions that I don't ask, right? And I can actually have that, right? Which is, how much stress does that actually save me if I was doing it by myself and trying to figure it out? Yes. So I think about the avatar definitely of positioning the value of it, and then, guys, you can offer payment plans for sure. And I would personally, if my clients want to pay me in Bitcoin, I'm happy with that, right? No problem. Yes. So think about, like, adapting a little bit. And then I just put a little worksheet behind it here so you can play with this. But I'll drop it to Veronica and she can, this just will help you. So Nina, I'm going to hit yours now. So sorry, it was a bit of an intro to that, but let's talk through yours. I'm going to make it bigger, right? And let's talk through those. Yes. Okay. Right. So talk us through it. Let's go, Nina. You ready?
Okay. So yeah. So Maya, she's a business owner and a leader of a small team today. And she has all the external success. She's making money, you know, she has a good life.
Mm.
But she feels like, yeah, she's in that stage of life where there's lots of responsibilities in different areas, and she feels like constantly she's supporting others, and the freedom and that joy and the passion she used to have, it's not there at the moment. She feels drained in a way, and so she knows that she both meant for more and she wants more. And I think she feels kind of lonely in her role, having all of these responsibilities. And even though she has a team or she has a husband, she feels like she doesn't have anyone to share her sort of journey of impact and soul expression. So she wants that connection.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so the promise for the project is that together we will reignite her spark and find back to that inner power, and then because of the community and that supportive sisterhood, she will break free of that feeling of isolation and being alone on her journey. So
Mm-hmm.
and also finding a new level of clarity and confidence in going for the things that she really wants, and then creating, so kind of like redefining success. She's had success, but it's not the kind of success that she's really looking for now in the next stage of her life. So finding a way of creating that on her terms, and then constantly having that growth container to keep her staying motivated and centered and in momentum.
Okay, so
And
before you carry on,
yeah.
let's stop there. Yeah. So I just have a question. And guys, if there's something that you notice, it's also great for you to drop your comments in the chat. It's not, please don't be critical of your colleagues, but maybe there's something that you see that could actually give them some input. So please drop stuff in the chat if you have a thought. But please watch how you say it. I want this training to always be kind and loving and build people up. I don't want to ever make any of you feel that this is not building you up. Yes. So the only question I have for you on the problem is you brought teams in at the end. So are you saying that she's running a successful business with her team, but so she's got leaders, she's got what is the size of her business kind of thing
Yeah,
in this
okay, yeah.
space?
So the size of her business, she has 8 employees. She has a little business with 8 employees today.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah,
I
so
see.
she has a team.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I
And
would kind of
she's a
build
green, so she's green on the
a
spectrum.
level.
She's green
Yes.
on the spectrum. And she has the money, she has the success, she has capital, she has all the external success, but she's really, yeah, it's still not fulfilled. She feels like there's something missing on
Interesting.
this journey. Yeah.
I like that. I think personally, I don't know if you want to bring in the team or you don't, because I don't think your product's related to her, the team, right? It's related to her personally getting a solution. Yes. So
Yeah.
maybe,
Um,
you know, maybe because she wants to, because the things that I liked was the authentic connection and the conversations and things like that. And you could make that bigger. You could almost say to inspire others, not just the people in her business, could inspire
yeah.
people around
Okay.
her family, her
Yeah.
friends, her community. So she'd be, so maybe reword that
Mm,
slightly to be more inclusive of the bigger, that she can have a bigger impact around her, because that's what's the bother. It's not only the team, right?
right. Exactly. That's a good point. Thank you. Inspire
Um,
others.
so I think everything is workable. She knows she's ready for war. The problem is great, right? Because it's keeping her up, and she's going, okay, this is actually, I want to have people around me that I can actually, have authentic connection with. I can,
Mm,
connect into why I'm actually on the planet, all of those kind of things. I think on your promise, I would take it away from a point form and put it into a paragraph, right?
okay.
Because
Yeah.
when you spoke
Yeah.
it was a little bit different. I think this becomes a bit like too exact. i-
I
in a
actually
weird
had
way.
it as a paragraph, and then when we're going to do this on one page, it gets too big, and so
Long.
I
But
started.
it's a good exercise, right? It's a good exercise to keep it a
Yeah,
short little paragraph. So what I
yeah,
would look at, remember what the promise is I think what I don't see enough of in here is the transformation, right?
okay,
What kind
yeah.
of transformation can she expect? So yes, I reignite my spark. Yes, a new level of clarity. All of these things are almost sub, right, to your promise.
Yeah.
I would say, what is that big thing? I don't know why I'm freezing all the time. Sorry, guys. Then I freeze in this most unelegant way each time, and I'm not sure. So I'm so sorry. Anyway, but the point is to kind of, you know, your avatar is meant for more, right? Maya is meant for more. She knows she's meant for more. So what is that transformation? The transformation is if you take this next step, right, and you actually find a tribe and a community that allows you to make these changes, right? Does it make sense? That's what you're wording into your promise. You gotta bring the heart into it, babe. These are just words. So
Mm,
we gotta put some heart in here. Yeah.
yeah.
And what the transformation is going to be. Imagine waking up in the morning and being so excited about your life that you go and wash baby elephants. I mean, I don't know. You understand?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So
absolutely.
I would put some more heart and spunk into that, because that I
Yeah.
think will make you feel a bit better, and it won't be so clinical, right? So that's my suggestion on the promise, because I would really like to, when you're talking about the promise, it's around the, like, what is, when she comes to work with you, she's going to get this transformation that's going to get her so clear on her next steps that she's just going to like flourish. She's going to feel connected. She's going to, put that like spark of like boom into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Thank you.
it.
Yeah,
All right. So
absolutely.
I know you've got the proof, so you don't have to talk through the proof because I want to talk through the others. But what I'd like to talk on the proof is exactly as that page that I showed you. It might be worthwhile working on a page of testimonials or something where you can put that down. But what I would say is I would actually make it a little bit more human. I would say we have amazing transformational stories from Michelle and Susan and Joe, and you can get them here, something like that. That's how I would summarize it into this document. Yeah. But make it human. Put the ladies' names, because you are focusing on ladies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. In this program, I am.
Yes. 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 Yes.
In this program, I am. Yeah.
This program. All right.
Mm.
Let's talk through your product and your pricing. What are you thinking?
Okay, so I've called my product Lighting Up. Inspired, authentic, and powerful. So lighting up is because I have my sort of, I use a lighthouse as well as the basis of my product, which is but it's more about from what state of being are we, like from what
Mm-hmm.
frequency are we in ourselves, right? Um, so that's kind of like the umbrella of what I wanted to create something around. And so my thinking is that I will have, as I'm launching my private or personal site, I'll have something that my mission is to light up, right? Or something around that. And then one product will be a membership. So it's more a group, like people coming in, they can come into a membership. It's going to be a thing going on all the time, and you can come in and leave whenever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking like a more um like an inner circle kind of thing where people go more together. So the magic circle, or whatever I will call it. I'm not sure if that's the exact name yet, but that's more like an immersive growth program that you're held in a growth container for a year, and you have both one-on-one and group sessions with that small group. So maximum maybe 12 women, maybe just 8. And there's going to be 2 or what I want, because I want it for myself as well, right, is like to also have some retreat experiences here to go away. And then I'm thinking about including, because I want them to inspire and light up others, right? That's like the second part of the program. So I want to include that as the flow consultant certification in there. And I would love to actually to have that as a retreat in Bali.
Nice.
That's kind of my thinking right now, because I'm trying to design also something that will bring me on the adventures that I want to go on together with
Yes.
women that I would love to do this with.
Okay,
That's my
so then my next question is the 13,000 going to cover the costing of that? You see what I'm saying? Going to retreats, or is that a separate thing? Is that, yeah?
gonna be, they have to pay for their travel on the side of that.
So I think maybe we just want to reword it so it's a bit clearer, because it's not super clear,
Yeah.
right? Think about
Yeah.
that. I think I think it's good. I would separate, because you've got one-on-one coaching and you've got intimate group coaching. And I would want to know, like if it was me, I would want to know how many people are in the group sessions, you know, so definitely put that kind of stuff in. I think, Nina, you need to decide where you're going to focus on for the quarter. Are you going to focus on the 110 per month, or you're going to focus on the magic circle, right? So this is 2 products. You've only got a business the size that you can focus really well on one product for a quarter. So I'm going to say to you, it costs the same amount of time and energy to get $110 from someone than to get $13,000 from someone. So you understand what I'm trying to get at? I would say to you, focus on one rather than the other. And then once you've got the community going, then add in, for example, the membership for a lower level as you're building up your tribe and your followers and things like that. So that's almost like a secondary thing. So I would put the membership, the cheaper membership, I would include it into the magic circle, right? So that you're starting it and you're doing it. But I wouldn't personally focus on that one. I would focus on your magic circle, and I would focus on that being your primary product. I would also make sure that you know, the program, if you look at the product, like, you know, you're part of this amazing tribe for the next 12 months, right? I think 12 months is sometimes easier to stomach than 1 year, but you choose your wording. I think maybe instead of using the words flow consultant certification, use something like learn to transform your energy and your flow, because that sounds better with the other words that you've got, you know, and it sounds a little bit disconnected. You know what it is, I know what it is, the people on this know what it is, but your clients won't know what it is. And I think I would say find your own magic and then be able to share it with others. That's what I would do, because if you go back to your avatar, when we said that, you know, that second sentence, to actually, she learns the stuff, but she can also go and inspire people around her. That would be the connection for me. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I would just
what I have, like when I've been, sorry, so because what I have sort of thought, you know, like it's so many programs out there that are like lead yourself and lead others, right? But what for me is about, in a way, lighting yourself first and then light others. So that's kind of the play that I'm using, that because I think it's really about lighting yourself up, becoming to that next level of consciousness where you can more consciously design like where you're showing up from, and yeah, going through that. So
exactly. So maybe just word it slightly differently. An inclusive certification or something. You can word it differently. You don't have to say flow consultant. You know,
no.
you can.
Yeah.
I would just word that differently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when you would do this document, I would just focus on having the magic circle, and then I would also add a light up membership, which is a you know, that is included, right? Which is access to tools, libraries, hot seat coaching, da 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 da. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. My thinking around that. Oh, sorry, I see Ruby has a question, but I just, yeah.
Can I ask it now? Yeah. So I put it in the chat, but I'm confused about what you consider to be coaching membership and the difference between that and the Magic Circle. I don't understand what the difference is, because often when there are memberships, it's just all data. It's not necessarily anything personal. Even if it is coaching, you know, they just put, I don't know, reams and reams of videos and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm curious, what is it? What's the difference?
That's a good question, because that's the thing is your Lights Up membership is it looks like almost like if I'm looking at this like right now, yes, I want the retreats and stuff like that, but I'm going to get really hot seat coaching. I'm going to get a whole bunch of cool stuff. I'm going to pay 110. I'm not even going to pay the 13 grand. That's what I think Ruby's getting at, because it looks so great. That's like, why would I pay? Why would I pay the 13 grand? Right. So
Absolutely.
Maybe you don't have an answer for that, but it's worth the question to think about it, you know.
Absolutely. And my thinking has been, so I agree with how it looks there. My thinking has been that because I'm seeing what I want to do is to start off by maybe having 5 free master classes or a day that I give value and get people to know me, right? And then from there, that there's a path, and I would love to keep training. And I'm thinking that it might take some time before you actually get sort of, the women to just invest. I mean, it might be a longer process to have someone invest that amount, but I would love to also have that sort of, and maybe that should just be a free community where I just show up and do training, and it doesn't include anything else. So that might be a thing, but at the
Maybe
same
revisit
time,
it. Yeah,
sorry.
maybe revisit it and go back into that part, right?
Yeah.
And just actually break it down for yourself. Like if you're doing a course, what is the free thing? Because remember, if you look at like Bea, for example, she does the awards and she does the other things. Those things you can build over time when you've got a big following. And remember that the membership will be something that will be driven for what, like if you go back to the beginning, you've got your followers, your community, your prospects, right? The followers to the community, the people who want to be part of what you're doing for free, and then they actually start popping in. They'll be buying the membership. Your top end products, generally, I mean, if I were to say to you, how many Magic Circle clients do you want this year?
Yeah, that's not going to be a lot. That's maybe 8 to 12.
Right. Maybe it's
Yeah.
even just 5. Maybe it's 10,
Could be,
right?
could
Do you
be.
understand
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's
Yeah.
a smaller amount, which the way those kind of clients, when it's a smaller amount, they don't come generally through social media, or they don't generally come and just drop in your lap. It's through relationships. It's through people that you know. It's those kind of things for those kind of price points. Yes. Generally. I mean, if you go back to the olden thingy, when I met Roger for the first time, like I went to an event in South Africa, right? I actually went to a 2-day event, and then I popped 19 grand because I got an experience. Yes. So
Yeah.
if you're
So
going
maybe I have
to
to
do
start with something smaller, that I maybe do that and have an event or something where people can come
you
in
can,
instead.
but
Yeah.
Nina,
Yeah.
you can go and sell a 13 grand product today. Write a list of
I know.
100.
I know. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think the lower price point should be a focus that's a secondary focus. So I would clean up the coaching, right? Because that's what you actually want to focus on. And even if your minimum number is 5 at 13 grand is good. You know, so
Absolutely.
just think about the cleaning up of and the value that you're going to be giving. And I think that's what would come into that, because looking at this right now, I would just buy it for 110 because I would get cool stuff, right? And I think that's what Ruby is saying in a nutshell. She's like, I don't really understand why I would pay you. I mean, I can go to and do retreats, sure, but then, why would I? Yeah. That's the question. Yes. So I think good job. Really, I think you've put a lot of effort in. Ruby's got something she wants to add in, I think.
Yeah. Also, for me, it wasn't just that. I didn't understand what you actually meant by coaching. And does that refer back to where you said a hot seat coaching to work through challenges in real time? Is that only for the Magic Circle, or is that also for the coaching membership? That was not very clear to me. And if it is for the membership, then why would I even bother to pay you like $1,100 a month instead of 110? I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
No, I will clear it up. But my thinking was that it would be more people coming in, and maybe not so much inspiration, or maybe it's more training, but some coaching, and maybe some hot seats for some. But if it was 50 people in the group, it will be very seldom that you would actually get to be coached. But in the other one, I'm dedicating my time to go alongside with you all the time. You have access, you have
I
full
think
personal
this
access.
is the wording, right?
Yeah.
I think careful on wording, dedicated time. Like, what does coaching actually mean? I would get away from the word coaching, to tell you the honest truth. I would do something, join a group for transformation, that kind of thing. So go and check the wording that you've used, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, use mentoring maybe instead of coaching.
Yes, yes.
Tweak the wording here, because it's definitely, I like intimate group. I like dedicated time to you. I like, you get a hot seat where you actually get 24-hour call access. But, you know, clients are looking for, like, if this program, like for me, yesterday when I spoke to him, or I don't know, it was the day before, he said, all right, you get a WhatsApp group where you can speak to myself, the top guy, and the team any 24/7. I said, can I get calls? He's like, yes, you can get calls whenever you want. I said, what does it mean here? How much, you know, those are the things that when you're going to pay a high ticket item, you want to, basically, I want to be made super special, that I can phone these people whatever time of day that I want because they're going to help me, because that's what I'm paying for. Yeah. So go into that, because like, I'm going to say to you, if I take a look at myself personally and what's convinced me to go, he said, within 6 months, firstly, I paid 10 grand for lifetime access. Within 6 months, I will be returning that money. So now I'm like, okay, if I pay 10 grand, I put the work in 6 months max, I'm going to get that 10 grand. Do you see where I'm going? Like,
absolutely. And I love what you have
like that.
Results. Yeah, I love, because I have been thinking about this, you know, like with the exponential, and I love how you worded it on your LinkedIn with the, you know, you get results in 12 weeks and 3x your return and so on. So yes, I will work more on that part.
Awesome. But I mean, good job. And I think it's a good having commentary around it, because I think it's always a good idea to get feedback from everyone. And I think when you're looking at the 5 Ps, I hope it has helped the rest of you, because I really want you guys to clean up this, because people are wanting to buy stuff. People want to spend money. Categorically, there's a lot of people that want to spend a lot of money. If you don't tap into why they want to spend that money, you're not going to get that client, right? And those things are, remember, the one thing I'm just going to give you an advice on is, remember that all of you are humans still. And you're amazing humans. So remember the magical words and the magic behind being a human, and try not to only make it clinical, right? When you're working on, especially your promises and your transformation and your programs, right? Because it's easy to use ChatGPT, and it's easy to use Gemini, and it's easy to use this brand new one that's just launched in China that's free. It's easy, right? It just goes blah, and it gives you your shit, right? Excuse the language, because it does. But one thing you've got to do is get a little more human when you're putting it together. Okay, nice. Well done, Nina. You didn't put a question in, so I guess your questions were answered, yes? So I hope. Yeah?
Yes, thank you. And thank you everyone for giving input. It's very valuable.
Awesome. All right. Jaroslava, I think you're next. So you want to talk through, do you have a question about this, or do you want to go next? Is that why your hand is up?
I wanted to say to Nina just one note, because what I can feel from her enthusiasm and everything, she's giving herself their whole, like 24/7. Just think about yourself and set it up in a way it can be sustainable. You can survive longer than a year. That was the only thing I wanted to say. That's all.
Feedback. Great feedback. Nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Jaroslava, so let's go to you. Your goal was to get a new website up and choosing your company name, and then you had a video, right? Did you want to share it with us? You muted and I can't hear you. That I haven't mastered yet. I'm sorry.
Sorry. Reading lips. Well, the video is very basic. I had 5 minutes literally to try to do it. Why
don't you share it, and let's see what we can do on the video, because the video is the beginning part of your story, right? So let's share that, and then your challenges is really around, like, should you be hiring somebody to build your website, balancing between your budget and that kind of stuff, and what kind of tools there are. So I'll go through that once you've shared your video, and we can actually have a discussion, because I just want to remind you of spending money, not spending money, what you can do without spending money also.
Yeah, I'm doing my best with sharing.
That's cool. All right.
Okay.
Nice. Good job. I've got a couple of suggestions. You know, the rest of you also drop your suggestions. I think careful the wording you're using. Again, you're using students and seniors. You use the word students in the one message, and then you use seniors in the other. So I think choose the word. What do you, yes? So I think you're going to do seniors, but maybe there's a way to make seniors sound funky, right? Maybe it's around, you know, 60 is the new 40. I don't know. Like, I'm just saying that because sometimes that's a bit of a perception in the communities, that they don't want to be necessarily perceived as old. So maybe there's a different word, right? I think that your points are cool. I like the pictures. To be perfectly honest, I would make it slightly longer, and I would spend time on that. Obviously, you know, the band in the front where it's powered by whatever, if you can get rid of those kind of weird things. But the pictures in the beginning, then it goes into the pale pink with the writing. Yes. So what I would do is either have the wording over here and some pictures rotating or something like that that fly in, or I would have a pictures, you know, because personally, I want to see what's going on, right? Like, I see in pictures, and I think many of the people who are looking online nowadays see in pictures. So I think the pink has got the good words. Maybe you can tweak them slightly, you know, but I would prefer to see more images. Yes.
Well, I actually uploaded more images, but I did it in 5 minutes between lessons. I just wanted to try the AI tool. So I uploaded some photos. He actually made, or whatever it is, made the script and choose the pictures, and even the music. I wouldn't choose this music. It's kind of
I was going to say that the last suggestion I would have was the music needs to be a little bit more upbeat and funky, because it's a bit like going to a funeral.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that I was happy that I had this. The more I was discovering the path, how to make the video.
And the videos are great, and I think it's really good to experiment and get feedback from everyone also, because then, you know, Ruby is actually much older than the rest of us, right? So, you know, and she looks super young, but that's the point, right? Ruby still goes surfing, she still does cool stuff, right? And what I'm saying to you is that you want to capture an audience that is not, you're not making them feel old. You're making them feel inspired to join something that's this is why I always, when I spoke to you before, like, this is an amazing program that you're doing, Jaroslava. You're doing an amazing program. You're brilliant, right? Don't forget that it's actually such a big thing to care for an elderly community and make sure that they are able to walk and be fit and look after themselves, and that they can do things, right? It's a big thing. And don't discount it, because I know that sometimes it doesn't give you inspiration. It's like a love to hate sometimes, right? But it's a flippant big thing. If you look at the whole of Europe, we've spoken about this, right? The elderly people and how they can, you know, be inspired. And I think many things, people are getting to a space where they're going, oh, I actually have to be careful. I need to walk more. I need to do more things. I need to be more active because I'm getting older. I mean, Rose and myself go and do a class every Wednesday here for the elderly ladies. in Kapi, we do a chair yoga. It's not even proper yoga, man. It's like we stand and they do their neck, they do their wrists, they lift their feet, they do a bit of walking. There's something that you can build from this, and don't discount it, because in many cultures, the older generation are hugely respected, and they should be, right? So you're doing a good thing, right? Just remember that. And that's what I wanted to say to you, because sometimes I think you wobble a bit.
Yeah, I do. And last time I was looking for my why. And to be honest, I found the why in growing the company, not in giving the love to elderly. I'm sorry, I just don't have it now. I'm literally
Hey.
burnt out. I realized that.
I know,
So,
but
yeah.
say it.
So
You
I,
point out
but I,
because you all these things. Sorry, carry on.
I just found a person during the last week who has this spark, again, and she's inspiring me now. What I did before, now she's doing for me, and it's started to work. So she's going to do the marketing and all this stuff. Or yes,
Full.
so it helped, and I found my why. I want to have the impact. I want to help people. I just don't want to help personally. But it's my, personal issue. Doesn't matter. Yep. So I take the note. That's good. I should reflect this love and willing to help, to reach out into the texts and everything. I understand.
Yes, I mean, even if it's not your, that's not your like thing. If you look at the people on the other side who are actually going to be receiving it, right? Take the lady who's working with you, her inspiration, because that's what's going to make the people want to join you. You may not want to be doing it, which is perfect, but you're the driver of this transformation for these people. If this is grow the business, you're the driver of it, right? And if that's going to inspire you, amazeballs. And you've got somebody who can translate that message into a loving, excitable thing. That's what needs to come out, because if you're not seeing that, then you're not going to have people wanting to come to join you. Does it make sense?
It makes.
Yes.
It's absolutely.
It's good. I just wanted to share something quickly around, I think careful when we try to do too many things at the different levels. I'm just going to whiz quickly, because you guys have seen this. I'll share it with Veronica also, and she can drop it to you guys. And this is just a reminder for all of you guys. Remember I know this is not your level, Jaroslava, but it's just, bear with me, because I just want to remind. So here, when you've got one person, the do's and don'ts of things, right? Don't put money into systems and stuff when you only solve it, one person's problem. As you're moving through this, right, and you're going from this area here, how can I scale it to 10 to 100, that kind of thing. Again, too many systems, too many things. Careful that you're not spending money on stuff that you don't need. Yes, there's a lot of free stuff, and I'm going to show you some sites where you can search it. There's a lot of free things that you don't have to pay. I personally would not pay a web developer at any stage in my business nowadays, because there's no point in adding somebody to the payroll and spending money and then being irritated and not getting what my message is, because AI is super quick, right, at doing these things. So these principles here, careful, even when you hire, guys, and even as you're coming up to here, the 100 customers, right? Expand the system to the right level of what you need. But these slides, remember, were done before AI can take over everything, right? The nice, beautiful part about today is that many of these things, the financial tracking, your spreadsheets, your data, your websites, your branding, all of this stuff can be done with not a big investment anymore. You don't need to hire a human. I would be, in my case, I would always be super careful to hire a human. And I only hire humans, like in my business, I do somebody who's a content creator, because the videos and stuff on AI, I would rather not use those right now for my Instagram side, because I want a little bit more humanity into it. And I don't have an AI Instagram page. I've got a human page, right? If I was to do an AI page, sure, it's easy to do the videos, but I've got somebody who actually finds viral content for me, and it takes time to do that. So I pay somebody for that, but I don't pay somebody to design my logo anymore. I don't, you know, all of those things. I use Canva, which costs me a fraction of the cost, right? Canva has got every template for anything that you want to do in it nowadays, right? You pay a small fee. So careful on the systems, even when you're scaling up. What do you actually need, and what is a nice to have, and what is a mandatory, right? Because as you're going further, remember here's this is where you've got team working for you, or in nowadays, I'm going to say you've either got AI or avatars, or you've got those things count as team, you know, that it is part of your team, even though it's a system. So just remember that part. Because what you want to be doing is you want to get your conversions right, which we'll talk about. But here, you see, can you manage your business remotely? And when you've got humans, your remote management is sometimes a little challenging. And if you're going to spend money on somebody doing your sites and stuff like that, you've got to be on their back. You've literally got to be on their back. And it takes, Ruby's been there, I've been there, I think Nina's done it. We've all done it at some point in our lifetime where we've paid somebody to do our sites. So in today's day and age, I would recommend not. Let me show you some of the sites that you can use. One of the sites.
Can I ask one? Sorry. I have a question. I've already discussed the website builders with AI, with my Gemini, and everything's fine. The web builders are great, but they have, as I understand, fixed domains. And then the transition from your old website to a new website, when it was describing the way, I was lost. It's so technical. Do you think you have somebody who would do the technical part? I can build it with AI, but I'm not sure I can transfer it safely with all the followers and, you know, the engines, search engine and all this stuff. That was a challenge I found.
So I would find somebody who's a specialist like that, right? Otherwise, one of the big companies now is Squarespace. And Squarespace actually does a fair amount of, you know, it's actually pretty easy to transfer it. Just let me open it for you. I would go and take a look, right? Before I hire, I still would go and take a look before I hire somebody to do it, right? I know that there's technical stuff to it, but a lot of the sites have got like you can get a consultant in that does it quickly for that particular thing that you need, instead of paying somebody for a long term. And take a look at the sites that you can use for the transfer of your domains. I used somebody because I had somebody already and he owed me some hours, so he did it for me, right? But take a look at those kind of things and ask somebody in your community, ask somebody, you know, maybe somebody here knows someone that does things. But Squarespace, it's a hosting company, it's in New York, it's quite easy, it's very cheap. But Google does the same thing. Here you've got, you know, GoDaddy. Go and have a look. Just go and have a look and see, because sometimes the transfer of stuff is not as difficult as you think.
Okay.
Yeah. So take a squiz at that. And then the other thing is also here, this is Futurepedia. Now, Futurepedia, there's a couple of things that you can do. I just want to open this one for you also. So if you go here, Futurepedia is, sorry guys, we might run a couple of minutes late. So Futurepedia, you can search pretty much anything here. You can look at tools, you can look at agents, courses, you know, you can literally have a look here. And what they do is they also give you the rated most popular AI tools. And you can see if they're free or if they're paid or what have you. And I found a couple of the tools that I use through here, and it's always up to date, which is very nice. So you can search in what you're actually looking for. You can sign up for free if you want to. I never signed up. I just went and searched here for things that I wanted. They've upgraded their site, but it's very cool. I mean, another option is to look at, Sintra. Now, Sintra's quite easy. It's not difficult, right? It's basically you get bots that do stuff for you. And here you've got a whole bunch of them, and you can plug in everything. You get plenty of them. You can see here, you get your business development, social media, email marketing, e-commerce. I'm not sure if there is somebody for websites, but all of this is here. If you, I don't want to buy, hold on. Let me log in quick, just to show you. Sorry, everything has got passwords and stuff these days, right? You can't just get into anything. You got to log in all the time. So yeah, in this, when they actually, when you log in your workspace and you can put your workspace together, you actually then have all of your employees that are listed underneath you. So you've got all of these guys. So here you've got business development, e-commerce, email marketer, SEO, social media, personal development. It doesn't look like I've got a look. I don't know if I've got somebody to do website, but you could ask e-commerce, which is Comet, right? And you can see what they do. How can I help you? Agrarian features, top strategies, low entry point to coaching. So I had to, when I set it up, I had to load everything about my business in here. And then they give me the AI or team that actually does all of these things for me, right? So when you go into your thing, it also gives you, new ideas. So here, Penny will create a 3-minute CEO wisdom micro blog series. Do I want that? Yes. Okay. It's like, I don't know if I want it, if I don't want it. Value-based pricing calculator. Okay. All right. 4-day C routine builder. Okay. Right. Team dynamics assessment matrix. No, that's fine. Thanks. ROI tracking dashboard. So you get all of these things, right? It's all here. You don't even, yes, I think when you buy it, there is one fee. It's a one-sub fee to do it, right? But here you've got a whole team that you don't even have a human, yes, that can do stuff. So, have a look, right? You don't have to, these are like, but this is dependent on your business, right? So it's kind of fun. If you go and you have a look at it, and you can choose sign onboarding. Okay, I want that. So Veronica, I think this is also something that you should look at, by the way. Anyway, so, and then it gives you your ideas. You swiped it, come back tomorrow. It gives me new ideas. It can help me. I can get my brain together. I can put all my stuff together. I can, yeah. So this is what's available now, right? And I think, yes, Ruby.
I have a question.
Of course.
I look at that and I just think, geez, it'll take me effing years to actually be able to even go through all the ones you flicked over to say yes to. And why would I do that? Like,
you don't have to.
Bore me to snores.
Yeah. Of course.
It's not my way of working. And even if it's amazing, I would still rather a human being that I can talk to, no matter how difficult they might be. Which reminds me, I still haven't received that.
No, she sent it to me and then she retracted it. So I had to phone her and say, hey, so I'll get it to you this week. I'm sorry. I don't know what she's dragging her toes about, but I will get back to you this week. I was going to message you. Yeah.
I'm going away again. Anyway, thank you.
But I agree with you. I think sometimes there's a balance, right? That's what I'm trying to say. There's a balance between AI but in web development nowadays, I would be careful to put somebody on my payroll if I can check something and do it, right? Or it can do it easily for me. So Jaroslava, my advice to you is go and have a look. If you want to have somebody, there's everybody in the network has used somebody before. I'll give you my guy. He's in South Africa. He does pages and he does it pretty well. And South Africa is cheaper than doing it in Europe, right? So if you're really looking for a human, all of us have had a human experience and we've got people that we've worked with before. I would just say to you, careful that you're going to spend money on something that you might not need to spend money on today. And Ruby, 100%, if this is not part of what you want to do and you'd rather have a human doing it, that's okay. But there's also trades off, right? So Jaroslava was asking about budgets and trade-off. So I think have a look at what works for you and make a decision, an informed decision on that space. That's my advice in the AI space, right? Because there's plenty of tools, and the only other advice I'll give you is in the AI space, there's so many tools. As a creator and in that space, you can get lost because you get so excited and you start doing so many things, and then you're totally off track. So keep to the plan, keep to what you're doing, you know. I mean,
can
yes.
I also comment? Because I mean, we had a web developer, and it took a certain amount of time just to sort out what we actually wanted. That's number one. And talking that through with a human does make a big difference. But now that that's all done, we only pay $100 a month for him to do everything we need to have done. So I consider that to be peanuts, you know, like and he's good, you know, he's on the money. If he says he's going to do something, he does it, you know, and I don't have to worry about all those little bits and pieces and changing things. I know how to do all the basics, but do I actually want to? No, not really, but I'll do them. But do I want to do all the other rubbish? No. Anyway, that's my time's worth.
For sure. Again, happily, you know, like my guy also, I've used him for years and he knows me, you know, and I don't have to do stuff. Just be aware. That's all I'm saying. You know, if you can do it, and you know, so make the choices. And either way, it's just about perspective in different ways of how you can actually, you know, ensure that you also, like, you're looking after your business, but you're not going down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Because I think I think it's easy to go down rabbit holes, yes, especially with AI. So take a look, decide, and then in your WhatsApp group, you can also, or you can drop me a mail for mine, or Ruby will pass you her details for her person. You know, we're happy to always refer and things like that, which I think is good. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. So the rest of you didn't have any questions or anything in. So I'm just going to move through, and I'm going to just go through. Yes, Nina, you had one more question?
Yeah, actually just on AI tools. Has anyone found an AI tool that is really good on voice? Because especially for me or if I want to do something that is me speaking in Norwegian, I find that whenever I try it, you know, because I've created some videos with Hey Jen and so on, but the voice that's on there is like, oh, I'm like, I can't use this because the voice is just so inauthentic. Right, so
Genius Team. There's a couple of voiceovers in the Genius Team sector, so log into there. Suraj has got the latest tools into that. So if you log in, I've just put it into the chat, log into there. The other video one that is workable is one that I've used before, and it's not bad because I got it referred from somebody else, and they were German. So when I listened to it, let me just open it for you. It's called Whistler. So again,
Whistler?
it wasn't. Yeah, I'll share my screen. Whistler. Yeah. This one. And here it's also not a bad one. They do have costing though if you want to do a little bit more. So take a look. You can sign up for free and you can do a pretty free things, but then what it happens is the same with Jaroslava's video. It has a bit of a it has the watermarks on it and then you don't really want to have watermarks on it, so you may need to pay the subscription, right? So this is pretty this is pretty cost efficient from here. So I mean, pricing wise, I'll just show you. But when I paid for a year up front, which was cheaper, right? I mean, you can see here it's not bad, right? For $9 you can do yeah. So take a look, right? You know,
no,
and
it's not
see.
bad if it really works, you know, but that's the thing, right? Because there's like Ruby's into as well. There's like there's this enormous ocean, right, of different tools at the moment, and I'm sure, you know, if you really go into them, that some of them can be amazing and great and it's fun, but I also see myself lost in that as a creator, trying to learn, because I love learning, so I can just be in that space forever and ever, right? But I
Right.
actually want to move and give my results. But for me, for instance, in this space, I want to have Norwegian videos, for instance, for the talent dynamics and so on, right? And I keep taking and then I think if I could just give the script, and it would be, and that would be okay for some things to be, you know, this is my AI avatar, and then it would be clear that it is my avatar, but it still needs to have a voice that sounds like you want to actually listen to it, right? So
take a look at Gina's team and take a look at Visla, and then just play around. Don't sign up or anything, but play around, and that will help you. Bally,
thank you.
you have more. Is it a question or is it a comment?
No, it was a comment. Sorry. Hi everyone. So the one I found that's really helpful, I signed up with them about 18 months ago, probably even longer, but they've come a long ways, 11 labs. And I went back to 11 labs and I felt that they clone my voice really well. And it was something like, it's really super cheap just for one voice. So you can download that, upload that onto HeyGen. That might work well, because yeah, I agree with HeyGen.
Yeah, so just drop the link in the chat, and then Nina can also check that. I think, guys, it's about investigating to find the right one that fits you for sure. Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely, but it's just nice if someone has already done the investigation. It can save some time.
Yeah,
I
so
love
those
that.
that we've got for you, so you can check which one works best, because we obviously don't speak Norwegian, right? That's the catch. So I guess that you would have to do that. All right, so let's run through everybody and what your biggest takeaway is. I'm sorry, we ran a few minutes late. So Bally, let's start with you. What was your biggest takeaway from today?
Sorry, I was just looking for this link. So the biggest takeaway, and I really appreciated Nina's share. So that was fantastic, because for me, the biggest, and I'll keep it succinct, the biggest one for me was really thinking about how I bring in talent dynamics, wealth dynamics, because I'm putting these tokens out and building my community. So that's for me to go back and really start thinking about how I merge those things. That's kind of what I'm taking away from today. Thank you.
Nice. Okay, Jaroslava, what was your biggest takeaway?
Assurance and clarity. Assurance that I'm on the right path, and clarity what to do next, the next step.
Awesome. Ruby?
For me, it was more like just having that slide, thank you, Nina, with everything on one slide, and having it as concise as that, like condensing it right down, and then being able to see those two offers and that whole discussion about we'll just choose one rather than have, you know, and choose the one that's going to give you the most money.
Exactly.
Just the same amount of effort.
Exactly. Isabel?
I like what you said about systems, that you don't really need that many. So, you know, just focus on the key ones, which, yeah. So I thought that was good. Yeah.
Coming from a Lord, I take that as a very good compliment. Thank you. Nina?
Yeah, it's the 80-20 rule. You know, 80% of your work is from 20% of your systems or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for all the great feedback today. And yeah, for me, it was really, it's two things. It was first the one offer, just having the one and being very clear about that, what that is, and maybe that I don't actually need that many to begin with, because I can do 42 for something else, right? So, and then second one was that like really working on the promise and wording that from that space where they like feel that heart and the magic that they will actually experience, having that courage to go for that those words. Yeah.
Nice. Veronica?
Thank you for sharing about Future Payday and Sintra. I'll look into that.
All right, so I know we ran a few minutes over. I did forget, but if you guys, I can give you a quick summary of the Year of the Snake, because this is Chinese New Year. It was just to make some commentary or some thoughts. If you want to stay, you're welcome. If you don't, you're welcome to jump off too. But for me, it was really around the reason I want to do to do a bit of perspective on it, right? Is because the Year of the Snake is it's interesting, right? Because it's around transformation, it's about wisdom, it's about strategy. But it's also about that like quick thinking, and I suppose you could say cunningness or something like that. But it's not, you know, for me, if you go back to thinking when we started the conversation, Ruby, I think you and Isabel weren't here yet, but we were talking about instead of going right, wrong, nice, not nice, and using those words to more of a yin and yang approach, right? Which was really around the perfect kind of energy or purpose that fits for you. And it was really around, you know, it's that intuition to adapt quickly and to transform and to shed your skin almost, if that makes sense, right? And the things for me that would be something that I would take forward, which is that there's always I'm going to say a yin and a yang, or a shadow and a light to everything that we're doing. Yes. And if we take that in the learning things, and we want to take, you know, the yin being your inner reflection, your passive energy, whereas your yang is more that action orientated stuff. I think it's the balance between the two for the year. And it's about like the deep reflection and the wisdom that you can take to actually apply your strategic actions and make those risks or calculated risks that you want to do. And embracing change, letting go of some things, but also that opens the door and seizes opportunities for the new stuff, right? So keep in mind those two polarities, I'm going to say. And I think it's definitely, if you take a look at the Year of the Snake, it's around, you know, the different aspects, so like of your life and career and business. If you take about the yin aspect, it's like think before you act, right? Whereas the yang is like, if you take a look at the snake, like strike with precision, make something like now, like this. Yes, a bold step when you need to. If you're looking at your wealth and your money and stuff like that, like yin is like more patience, take time and allows your trends. Whereas your yang is act decisively. Like if you're going to do something and the opportunities there, go for it, right? A smart, calculated thinking behind it. Relationships, I think, and communication, I would always, this is something that's just for me personally, but be mindful of emotions, avoid misunderstandings, speak with kindness. But then, you know, your yin side is observing, listening, and understanding, whereas your yang is expressing your truth while being kind, if that makes sense. And then definitely like your mindset, your personal growth and stuff, as your yin is your self-discovery and your transformation on your inner side, or your spiritual, your personal development, whereas your yang is actually actioning it, right? So when you've learned something, actually putting it into place. So those were the little things that I thought, and it was really like the overall, I guess, vibe to it, which really, it's not about rushing, it's about mastering that timing, but it's also refining, going deeper into stuff, embracing the grace, the wisdom, the success. But when you're going to move strategically, quickly, and act with this precision, so that you actually get what you're looking for in that space. So that was just the lessons and the curves that I kind of brought to it. Yes. Any comments, thoughts? Ruby, all good? Anything you want to add?
I like, what I like, well, one of the elements of the snake is their ability to hold hold a secret and not just to blab. So they can actually hold their tongue until it's ready to strike. But the sense of that, if you want to share, if you've got a secret to share and you don't want anyone to know about it, a snake is a good person to confide in.
Good thought. Good thought. Good perspective. I think those are the things, right, guys? So happy Chinese New Year. Thank you for coming today. I wish you guys an immensely successful 2025. It's been a fun class today, always the girls. And any questions, anything you need, I will drop everything to Vero, and she will then obviously share it with you. Homework wise for next week, I think what we're going to look at is we probably, I would like to see the rest of your 5 Ps so that we can all share that and go through it so that we can refine that, get that ready, because if we spend a bit more time on that, the rest of the stuff will flow easily and move forward. So next week is presenting time. I think 5 minutes a person should be enough on your 5 Ps. And then we will get feedback. And then the week after we will start implementing. But there'll also be some homework, obviously, throughout next week's class. Happy? Awesome. Have a great evening, guys, and a great day. And see you. Thanks, Vero.
Happy New Year, everyone. Happy Chinese New Year.
Yeah, happy Chinese New Year, everybody. Bye.
See you. Bye.